Dear students, today I am taking up chapter 15, Circles and Loops to Final Hooks. We know for straight strokes we give the final hooks N, F or V hook. In case of curved stroke, we add N hook. There is no F or V hook to curved strokes. In some words, after these final hooks, the final attachment comes like a circleless, steel loop, stir loop, etc. Now let us see how we can represent those circles and loops to final hooks. Let us take the case of straight stroke. In case of straight stroke, when there is final hook N, for example, Dan. Now you have to write dance after N. There is a sound. You write that circle at the N hook side. So the sound of N is also added when circle is written at the N hook side. Dances. You write circle at the N hook side. Dances. Danced. After D, you add steel loop at the N hook side. Dunster. After N hook, you add the loop stir at the N hook side. So this we do in case of straight stroke hooked for N. Other example, pen, pens, expense, expenses, spin, spins, spinster, etc. When a straight stroke is hooked for F or V, then if the final attachment comes. In this case, the final attachment that can come is only circle, no other final attachments will come. So if circle comes, what you have to do? Let us see. Example. Puff. Now we have to write puffs. After F, there is circle. Here in this case, what you have to do is, you have to show the hook and the circle separately. You should not join circle at the F hook side because it represents puss. So when there is F or V hook, if the circle comes, you have to show the hook and the circle separately. Example, some more example. Cave. Now we have to write caves. You have to show V hook and circle separately. If you add circle at the V hook side, what happens? It becomes case. In the same way, observe. B surplus ray V hook. If circle comes, B surplus ray V hook circle. You have to show it separately. In case of curved stroke, when it is finally hooked for N, the sound of S comes. We know that for curved stroke there is no short form for F or V. So only N will come. There are some words like fines, wines, frowns, thrones, shines, balloons, irons. When we pronounce these words, when we pronounce that N and S, it looks as though we are whistling while pronouncing those sounds. So they are called as heavy sound of ns, or they are called as nz sounds. So when the nz sound comes, you have to represent it by writing n hook and the circle separately. Example: fine, fi- fines, wines, frowns, thrones, shines, loans. So that NZ sound is represented by writing N hook and circle separately. When a light sounded NS comes, that is when you pronounce the word, we do not get the whistling sound. So they are called as light sound of NS. When the light sound of NS comes, we will not use the N hook. We write the consonant N in full, as in Evins, Lance, LANC, Lance, Mince, etc. Medial NS or NZ is represented by consonant N and circle. Example, we write dense like this. But density, NS is in the middle. In that case, we write N circles T in full. Chance, Che N circle. Chancel, Che N circle, down L. But in case of upper stroke, we know when it ends with ns, we write circle at the nx side. But when n and s comes medially in case of straight stroke, there also you have to show the hook and the circle separately. For example, ran, ransom. Here you should not write circle at the nx side. You have to show hook and the circle separately. Winsome, way, n, circles and m, winsome. So this ends the theory on chapter 15. Now the grammar locks in this chapter. Bull, circle at the left hand side. It represents balance. Circles T, circle in a circle. On the line, it represents circumstance. Dull, tick in a circle. Deliverance. Circles gay, thick above the line. It represents signify, signified, significant. Surplus gay, you add in a circle above the line. It represents significance. If you write n on the line, it represents opinion. So practice these grammar locks, each grammar lock, one page each, and write the grammar locks at least one line each, which have come in the previous chapter, so that you can remember them. Now, exercise 55 in page 69. As usual, read the shorthand outlines, copy the shorthand outlines, and transcribe them. After that, you check up with the key that is given at the end. If you have made any mistakes, you write those outlines several times so that you will not repeat that mistake again. In the same way, exercise 56, you open the key. There you will find the shorthand outlines for these words. Read the shorthand outlines, copy the shorthand outlines, and transcribe it and check up with exercise 56 that is given in page 69 and correct yourself by repeating the outline several times for which you have made which you have not written in proper form. Now I will give the dictation. Exercise 57. Get ready. Start. The fence, a stretch of marsh along the shores of the wash, used to be the scene of many a chance affray and many a set battle, owing to the inroads of the Saxons and Danes on the domains of the natives. It seems to have been a vast primeval forest at the time of the Romans, who, with their usual vigilance, saw a means of saving this expanse from the ravages of the waves by a clearance of the trees and the raising of banks. King John, of whose violence against the barons there is but one opinion, nearly lost his life in one of the treacherous channels of the Wash. Those who have read Kingsley's romance of the endurance and stout resistance of the Saxons in the Isle of Ely must have been struck by the graphic details of the rough roads of those days, and even now they are none too easy for transit. Times out of number, the waves of the sea carried away property, causing havoc and distress to the farmers. Now, exercise 58. I will give the dictation. Please get ready. Start. If I annoy you in the deliverance of my opinion, as the chances are, I may put it down to a reading man's reverence for books and his diligence in the pursuit of a course which lightens many an hour for him. Think of these significant facts, and your frowns may vanish. Full stop. If you have a love of books, you will feel no loneliness if and when men forget you. Full stop. You can dispense with them in the circumstances, for you will have within yourself through the brains of your authors many better men to replace them. The balance of advantage in the change is likely to be in your favor. Full stop. You will grasp the significance of this remark, I am sure, for the man who derives pleasure from reading books makes for himself reserves of strength to call upon against the time of trouble or stress.